Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Carey with my co host today, Terry Wentz. We're starting something new here. We're going to do a live podcast a couple days a week or so, talking about nothing but NASCAR. As our banner says, this is not DJ's podcast. This is just a podcast of a couple guys who are NASCAR fans. First, I want to thank our sponsors, AFC.org, which is another organization I'm part of, along with NAFCO.org, which stands for the North Appalachian Film Collective, which is out of Du Bois, Pennsylvania, who kind of helps us do this programming that we do on live Facebook and YouTube. I'd also like to thank Perry Films and all that he contributes. And I'd also like to thank West PA Systems, your 21st century contractor for all your electrical needs. So wherever you're at in PA, if you need some electrical work done, look up PA Systems. So I guess Terry, let's get into the show here. Why waste any time? Today is race day.
Indeed.
Happy race day to you.
Thank you. Same to you. And it's going to be a very exciting race today, I do believe. And I'm looking forward to it.
Let's cover a little bit what happened Friday night with the truck races. I know neither one of us are really truck fans per se. I mean, I do like the interest with some of the females that are racing. I also like the different strategies that they have compared to the other series. You want to tell us who won or what your thoughts were on? I know neither one of us really watched it. It's a Friday night thing. Neither one of us are really into it, but we'll just capture them a little bit.
Well, basically, I'm not exactly sure at this point who won because at the moment, anyway. But what I was told by the information that I gathered is it was a very exciting race. There was a bunch of wrecks. It was a last lap pass. I heard that. But I'm
Always
not.
a lap black pass at Daytona. We saw that on
Oh, yeah.
Saturday night. So if we want to go into that, Saturday's race, what'd you think about that ending there?
That was wild. The one guy, number 31 car, actually got up into the catch fence. Everybody walked away okay. The Austin Hill won, which is great for him. Little small team uh, conquered the Giants actually and beat them. It's a very special moment in Xfinity Series on Saturday night. Um, it was extremely great race, very competitive. The only thing that bothered me is when he got up in the catch fence, when Daniel Suarez turned him. That
Right.
was a very scary situation.
Yeah, my opinion on that is this shows what these cars are capable of now. The
Yeah.
safety features they have. I mean, that guy had nothing but the shell of the car left. It was pretty much just the cabin. The front end was gone, the axles were gone, and for that guy to get out and walk away, that shows the safety advancements that the NASCAR has done for the drivers.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
and this next gen car, I think, is going to be similar in the Cup Series. A lot of safety features, makes it a whole lot safer. I mean, we haven't lost a driver in how many years now in any series, so the
22, I
safety
believe.
just keeps. Yeah, so it's been a long time. Um, yeah, I mean, Daytona's Daytona. Anything can happen, like they say, and it never leaves a doubt. The 150s, which were the qualifying races on Thursday night, another last lap pass, and
Oh,
this is one of my beefs with NASCAR. Same with the NFL. I think there needs to be some rule tweaks because I want
yeah.
to see, and we all want to see a race win under green. We
Oh,
we don't want
absolutely.
to, you know. Um, I'm happy for the guy who won, but you know, I want to see racing. I don't want to see it come down to a rain delay or a caution or something like that. That's
Oh,
my
I agree.
opinion on that. The
Well,
150s when Joey Logano came down, you knew the guy was going to pass, and it
oh,
was a
yeah.
very rare incident coming on that lapped car where he almost could use him as a pick to come around.
Mhm.
And Joey totally admitted it was his fault, his mistake. Not a huge Logano fan, I'm a race fan, but it was a stupid move, and he
It was.
cost his team a lot of time yesterday getting this car ready for today. So I think he could have
Well,
just like backed off, give and take, lived to race another day. He would have finished like fourth, I think, anyways. Like it really wasn't that big a deal. So go
well,
ahead,
the one
opinions
thing
on that.
Well, the one thing with Daytona, the duels, it's basically bragging rights. Yeah, there's a paycheck at the end. Everybody wants to win. It's very competitive. Um, when you're driving a race like that, everybody wants to win. Everybody's trying to get everything they can in the last couple laps because the Gatorade duels, the first duel does the inside line of qualifying, sets the line up. The outside lineup is set by the second dual race. So everybody's trying to get everything they can so they get a good starting spot. I understand that. Joey could have finished fourth and still have been good for the Daytona 500. He wanted to
Right.
win. He went for it. It was a bonehead move, unfortunately, considering the cars are they're lacking parts for the cars. They don't have enough cars built and they can't get the parts. So what I would have done if I was in his situation, I'd have finished fourth. It means I start eighth on the grid and went with it.
And it really doesn't matter at Daytona. It really doesn't matter where you start at.
No, it
because
don't.
you have a chance to win from anywhere.
Oh yeah, you could be dead last starting, and after 200 laps, you could be in first place. I mean, if you have a good enough car and avoid all the wrecks, that's the key.
Right. Stay out of trouble. A lot of the guys used to back in the day, they would ride in the back of the pack for the whole race and really wouldn't race until the last 20 laps, anyways.
Wow.
So the draft is an amazing aspect of Daytona and Talladega.
Absolutely.
So
it makes for exciting races. It really does.
It does. It's the wind and the. I've actually stood by the catch fences at Daytona, and it's amazing how fast those cars are going.
Oh, absolutely.
They do move around with the wind. I mean, it's pretty fantastic experience.
Well, the cars do about 188, 189 in qualifying. When they're in the draft, they're hitting 200, 205, maybe going down the straightaways.
Yep.
Wow. So the draft does it's a definite equalizer.
Right.
Definite equalizer. I mean, look at Michael McDowell last year.
A lot of first-time winners. Trevor Bayne a few years ago, Michael McDowell last year. A lot of drivers have gotten their first win at Daytona because it is the great equalizer. Going back to the cars and the parts, the guy, I don't feel too bad for him because a couple weeks ago at the Clash of the Coliseum, his team got to claim rights to the first win of the Clash of the Coliseum. So they got to have their beer party and whatever, and now this weekend they got to bust their ass all day yesterday putting the car back together. So that's the way racing goes, I
think it's kind of a humbling aspect. You win the Coliseum race, you got the high, and then you go to the duels and wreck the car, and because he was being extremely aggressive. But Joey's always been extremely aggressive at the restricted plates tracks. Like Dale Sr. said, if you take risks at these type of tracks, there is a very good success rate. There's also the negative to where you can actually end up wrecking yourself, which unfortunately he ain't come out on that yet.
Well, they say the ups and downs throughout a NASCAR season. They race, 36 weeks. There's going to be some ups and some downs. So that's just part of it.
That's it.
So,
but
speaking of the 150 qualifiers, during the pit stops, as all the manufacturers coming together to their pit stops, 4 tires versus 2 tires, major difference with this single leg tire we have now.
Oh, absolutely.
And the way you have 2 different packs that are drafting with each other and trying to catch each other, pretty interesting. They do learn a lot in these qualifying races. It's almost like their real first practice they have under a new race condition. I thought that was very interesting. I really didn't see any fall off on tires by just getting to track position, as we all know is important. Who got Greg Biffle, who qualified.
Yep.
and then the one guy came back from a lap down right at the last, a lap black pass, but qualified for the Daytona 500.
That was Kaz Grala with the money team of
Grala.
Floyd Mayweather, number 50 car, Chevy.
Yeah. So every position matters in those races, you know. So they kept fighting and fighting. He was 2 laps down. So interesting races for sure.
Oh, absolutely. What I liked about it was the second duel. You had people in there that shouldn't. Well, I wouldn't say shouldn't. It was unlikely they would actually make it because this is their first time ever trying to qualify. Like Greg Biffle's team and his New York Racing team, Floyd Mayweather team. But they had a decent enough car to where they could actually do that and actually qualify. And I'm actually very, very happy, very pleased that they're in the race. The way it looked to me, Biffle ain't been racing since 2016, but I still think he's got it and he can still compete. Kaz Grala is a great driver, but the only unknown was the team, but the team come through for him. And he got into the show. So it's always a good thing.
I like the way NASCAR is going. I mean, a little bit of beef I have is there's a lot of road courses now, and I'm not really a road course guy too much. You know, NASCAR has always been ovals. People always joke it's just turning left all the time. I get it. So they wanted to add some more road courses. So they put dirt on Bristol. A lot of changes going on in NASCAR, a lot of diversity going on in NASCAR, a lot of new owners coming into NASCAR with Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, Mayweather, Pitbull. It's really becoming a diversified sport, which I think is amazing and growing the fan base. I don't feel like the kid in the room that's only a NASCAR fan anymore, if you know what I mean. A lot of people are getting into NASCAR now. NASCAR fans used to be known as rednecks and hillbillies, and NASCAR has become really mainstream now with all these high-profile celebrities putting their money out there and seeing how exciting that it is.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, you have Bubba Wallace, Darrell Wallace Jr. Everybody calls him Bubba. He's in the race. He's in the sport, doing decent with Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin. I wish him a lot of success. He's doing pretty good. Considering the teams, this is their second year. It's going to be some growing pains, but they do have a person like Kurt Busch, who's a veteran of 20 plus years in the sport, that's going to actually elevate them very quickly. Very quickly. So I actually got that team doing very well this year. Floyd Mayweather, I hope this is not just a one-off race and he actually comes back and has sponsorship and actually competes the whole year, because that would be great for the sport. Having Pitbull in there, you have a lot of different ethnicities in there. That is great for the sport, great for the fan base, and stuff like that. I'm very happy that the sport is actually taking off like this and getting other cultures in. It is a very good day because, well, back in the 60s when Wendell Scott, which was the first African-American to ever try to compete, he had a very hard time at it. And I'm glad it's not like that now. You know, everybody's on a level playing field, and it's good for the sport. It really is.
I liked it. I liked that Busch Beer put up some money too to get more women involved in the sport with sponsorship. That was a big announcement this past week. Of course, I'm a Bud guy. I'm a Budweiser Busch guy, along with my vodka that I partake of every now and then. But I think that's cool. It's not enough sponsorship, but at least it's a starting point. I met Shauna Robinson years ago when I first got into racing. Danica Patrick, I think, was kind of rushed into her role as a cup driver. Should have had more experience in Xfinity. That's my problem. I mean, you got some of the NASCAR drivers are 21 years old right now. They're cup drivers. They've been doing it since they were 6 or 7 years old. You take a girl, she might have started at 6 or 7 too, but what opportunities was she really given? And, you know, are guys really going to want to work with the female or unproven female? Kaylee Deegan, the Truck Series. I mean, I wish her the best. Like, I wish her to have a couple wins this year and kind of break that mold of women can't win in NASCAR. Because once they break that glass ceiling, then you're going to see a floodgate of people coming in. But it takes that person that can really do it. We have had women in the past who have raced in NASCAR, but it doesn't seem like we really give them the sponsorship or whatever, which is amazing. One of the excuses I heard from a female driver this week was she approached all these female product places, like makeup places or whatever, and they said that, and the sponsors excuse, or the corporation's excuse was, well, those aren't our type of clients. And she goes, what lady doesn't wear a mascara? What lady doesn't wear a lipstick? Everyone, like, this is your perfect clientele. Do you know how many women follow NASCAR? So she goes, I could sponsor, you could give me a sponsorship and you would watch your sales go up. Your return on investment would be huge.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, a guy's not going to really want, a makeup company sponsoring them, right? But definitely a female driver, and that's wide open right now,
Oh, absolutely. The one thing that I have noticed in racing, like you said, female drivers, no matter if you look throughout history of NASCAR, from Patty Moise to Danica Patrick, they never could get funding. Now, Danica was the oddball because she actually had good funding, good cars. Like you said, it's just she didn't have enough seat time. All right, now somebody like Natalie Decker or Haley Deegan, even in the trucks, they have the skill. They want to do as many races in that series as they can to get the seat time. The only question is, will the car owners give them the opportunities? That's the key. It ain't just for sponsorship. It's also the car owners taking a chance on a woman driver or a female driver. And there's a lot of them that will, and there's a lot of them that won't. And that, to me, is very detrimental to the sport because you have all these female drivers and all these good drivers coming up through ARCA, Truck Series, Xfinity. And, that's trying to get to Cup. But the problem is, what opportunities there for them?
Right.
Because these drivers like Hendrick, Stewart-Haas, Penske,
Joe Gibbs,
Childress, Gibbs, they got all these, they development drivers that they got in the lower leagues. What opportunity does that give for a female driver?
Right.
It really doesn't. And that's a major flaw. I say it's in the sport. You should have.
What was amazing when Danica was racing, she had more TV cameras and more interviews every week than the male drivers did, regardless of her finish. She could finish 25th and still had people interviewing her and stuff, which as a, if I was a sponsor, if I had the money to sponsor, you're giving me free advertisement every time you have my sponsor, my hat, my shirt in front of every TV, news network, sports channel. It's free advertising. They're not paying for a 20-second advertisement on TV. It's
exactly.
Here's my sponsorship and there's my advertising. And people really do buy stuff that NASCAR fans or NASCAR drivers use for their sponsorships. M&M's is a prime example.
Oh, absolutely.
Ask any kid who their favorite driver is. It's the M&M car.
Yeah.
Why? Because kids like M&M's. Mom, I want some M&M's.
Whether it be Ken Schrader or Kyle Busch, I mean, they're always relative because of the sponsor.
Right.
I mean, even myself, I used to buy Craftsman tools. Well, I always watched races. I've been watching races for 30 years. But now I buy my tools from Lowe's because of Cobalt. And I'm sure me watching the race and seeing that Lowe's car going around the track for years probably put something in my head. Hey, let's see what tools Lowe's has.
Right.
And it kind of, I buy Cobalt.
Well, how about this? I mean, I'm a big Junior fan. Was you a big Junior fan? Every time I saw a Junior on something, I had to have it.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It could have been a can of coffee. Oh, I got to have it. It's Dale Jr. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, whether I like the brand or not, it still had Junior's face on the side of the can. It's just a collectible item. I bought the coffee, whatever. I'm sure they made their return on investment by sponsoring him. So Well, there's a big race today in about an hour. It's called the Daytona 500. I don't know if you guys can see my hat out there. This is actually a very sentimental hat. This was my first Daytona 500. It
Oh,
happened.
nice.
It happened to be in 2001. So I go from a very exciting day to a very sad night, let's say. But I still have this. I still love Daytona. I think junior, senior, every NASCAR fan. I mean, it's an inherent risk of the sport. Someone could get hurt. Someone could die. It's part of the sport, but it's very exciting. There's about 150,000 people in Daytona right now. I'm going to stay home and watch it in the luxury of my recliner here. But today's a big day, so I don't really know who your driver is, who you like, who your favorites are. We haven't talked that
Well,
much.
well, with me, it used to be Dale Senior, obviously, and then I switched after the incident in Daytona 500. I switched to Dale Junior. Well, when he retired, it's like, okay, now what do I do? So I was looking through a NASCAR magazine that I have. It's kind of funny. I saw a picture of Dale Senior with a little kid on his lap. Well, I read the caption at the bottom. It was actually Chase Elliott. So I'm like, okay. So I basically became a Chase Elliott fan, and that's how I root for. I basically root for Hendrick Motorsports. Chase Elliott's my driver. I do like Kyle Larson. He is a very great talent. William Byron does very well. Alex Bowman has surprised me since what he's done in the 48 car last year. So I'm a Hendrick guy. This hat is actually the first Chase Elliott hat that I have, which is the number 9 Napa. But I've been a fan. As you can see, I'm wearing my championship Chase Elliott shirt as well. Hopefully, he can actually have a good finish tonight. But that's my drivers.
Ever since Junior retired, it's been hard for me to pick out one driver that I really want to get behind. I'm more of a storyline person. I like the different storylines of each track and history. I mean, I'm wearing my Junior stuff because it's Budweiser, and actually got his autograph a few times, met him. I just like to see a good race. I like to see up and coming stars. I like to see new stars win it. I'm always rooting for the underdog. I like McDowell winning last year. I thought was amazing. Yeah, I just haven't really latched on anybody. I appreciate Chase Elliott. I appreciate his family's heritage with Bill. I appreciate Larson coming back from what he had to go through a couple years ago. Second chances are great in America. We're a very forgiving country. I just don't have one person that can say, "Oh, well, this is my driver right now." I'm trying to still find that.
Right.
I like to try to figure out who's going to win the race. So we'll get into predictions on who we think might win this race. Is it Denny Hamlin again, who has 3 of these bad boy trophies, but no championship trophy? Is it Larson from the front row, which would be the first time that a pole sitter has won the Daytona 500 in many, many years?
I think it's like 20 plus.
Yeah.
I think it's like 20 plus years for the pole winner at the Daytona 500.
Winner. Yeah. So, yeah, I want to say, do you want to give your pick first on who you think's going to win this race? Or you want me to throw a name out there?
I tell you, the way I'm actually going to do this is a little weird, but bear with me. I'm going to give you my personal prediction, and then I'm going to give you an underdog who I think is going to be a big threat and has a very good chance of winning.
Let's pick 2. Let's pick who we think's going to win and who we think might just squeeze one out. That sounds good.
All right. By looking at the lineup, you got a lot of talented drivers down there. A lot of very capable drivers. I actually think, and it's going to be funny, I got Hamlin being up front, but I got one of the Hendrick drivers taken out and going ahead. I actually got Larson. If he can get a good enough car, good enough run, I got Larson to win. Something ain't been done in 20 plus years. I got him pulling it off today. Now, as the underdog, Justin Haley for Kaulig Racing has won a restrictor plate race in a Cup Series before. Kaulig Racing has also won last year at the road course with AJ Allmendinger. I got Justin Haley pulling off the upset.
I could see it happening. I could see it happening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be pretty conservative on this.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 2311. One of those drivers, one of the Daytona 500.
Oh, very nice.
Denny Hamlin is a 3-time winner.
Mm-hmm.
And Bubba Wallace got his first race win last year at Talladega.
Mm-hmm.
NASCAR is very streaky, if you've noticed. How many times did DEI win maybe Xfinity or Cup? Speedways races.
Well, I can safely say that Dale Jr. won 3 in a row, almost 4 in a row at Talladega.
Right.
So yeah, it is very streaky. Whoever gets hot at Daytona and Talladega, they usually kind of run with it for a little bit.
Right. And I see I see a huge jump because even though Hamlin is not on 2311, they're still going to help each other. The Toyotas are going to help each other out.
Oh yeah.
You've got Kurt Busch there. I'm just going to call 2311 because there's only 2 cars. I really can't pick one or the other. I could easily see Bubba Wallace winning this race, though. I could easily. Would he come in second a couple years ago? So
he's been in the top 5 consistently in the top 5 at Daytona, Talladega. He's actually a very good restrictor plate racer.
Right.
Then again, he was driving for the King, so Richard Petty. So he might have taught him a little bit about restrictor plate racing.
Right.
I mean, the King's got 7, so he knows something about Daytona.
Now, my dark horse, you're gonna love this pick, I think, because I'm a little old school like you are.
Mm-hmm.
I like the 21 car going back to victory lane again, just like Trevor Bayne did it for him a few years ago. That's my dark horse. I believe it's Harrison Burton's racing for them.
It is Harrison Burton, yes.
So they're aligned now with Penske's. With the Penske cars are very easy to find. There's a 2 in the number. It's a 2, 22, 21. Even though they're like their own team, they're still very well aligned, get very good equipment, very good tech support. That would be a great dark horse win right there. That's my dark horse. I can see it happening. Put the 21 back.
I actually can see that happening. Wood Brothers has always been a threat on restricted plate races, and that's been since they were incepted in 1949 when they started. They were one of the initial teams that started when NASCAR started, and they've been in the sport ever since. And they've always been a threat at restrictor plate races. So that's actually a good pick. Harrison Burton, I've watched in the Xfinity Series a little bit. Very capable road racer. Ward and Jeff has both won on restrictor plate races before. So I think that is a very, very good pick. And I actually got that happening. If he can get stay out of trouble. Yeah.
What would be even better is if the 43 car was in contention during the end of the race.
Man, I would love to see 43 back in victory lane. They haven't been in victory lane since Eric Almirola did it in Talladega, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
I can't remember the year, but he was the last one to win for the King. It was Eric Almirola.
And the King is still at the races. He's still showing up for interviews and stuff. I saw him this morning. So.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Anything else you want to talk about? We're about 30 minutes in. This is a pretty good one for our first one. It'll just get better as it goes. We actually had quite a few comments pop on the screen. I would like to just shout out to my friends and family who are my friends and Facebook fans. Please follow us, look for our alerts. We will try to get our own little website together and stuff, Facebook wise, so we can pop that out for you guys. I'm sure Terry will too. Also, to all the people that were on the Dale Earnhardt Facebook page. I'm sorry you thought that I was Dale Earnhardt Jr. I really did not try to play myself as that. My name was next to it, but I did have quite a few people reach out to me. I will have other guests on. Terry reached out. We had a good conversation yesterday. Very knowledgeable. We'll get our stuff together. This is like a first trial run here for us, but we wanted to make sure we didn't miss the Daytona 500 kickoff weekend.
yeah.
So
It's too important to me.
Yeah, if you guys can stick with us, we'll get some banners up on our backgrounds and stuff, and maybe actually be able to respond to people throughout the show if we can get that technology up for us. But special shout out to Perry Langell, who kind of helped us produce this show today. He has also been the producer for the AFC East podcast by NAFCO. We just finished our second season. Anyone who's an AFC East fan, whether that be your Bills, your Patriots, your Dolphins, we are looking for a Jets fan. If there's anybody out there who wants to come and talk some smack with us on Monday nights, we'd love to have some interest in that. I know it's hard to find a Jets fan right now. It's hard to find a Dolphin fan right now too, actually. But any final words there, Terry?
Well, I'm just gonna do a quick keys to the race to win. I don't know if anybody in the NASCAR world is listening out there at the racetrack, but if you are, thank you for watching. Basically, the keys to this race is make good decisions. Don't take too many risks early on. If you got to ride around in the back a little bit just to kind of, compose yourself so you don't cause an incident, do that, because it's easy from going from dead last to first as long as you don't lose the draft. So that's all I have.
So race kicks off in about an hour. I'm going to throw some food on the grill here, I think. Get ready for my NASCAR meal and enjoy a good 3.5 hours or 4 hours of racing here. I'm pretty sure the weather's supposed to hold off today for them, so hopefully we won't have that Daytona weather delay we always seem to have in Daytona, so.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Great track, but a very rainy location.
Very rainy location, yes. Makes for some long days. That's why I didn't go this year. But anyone who's out there on Facebook, you can comment, reach out to us. Just keep on following. Hopefully we'll entertain you guys for a little bit once or twice a week and just give our perspective on being NASCAR fans. Again, I want to thank our sponsors, NAFCO, West PA Systems, and AFC.org, AFCEast.org, and Perry Films for all your Perry needs and film supplies. Signing off for our first episode. Thank you, Terry, for contributing with me today. And we will see you guys next time. Look for notifications on your Facebook page. Also, if you could just hit that button that says like and share, we'd appreciate that. We're not making money doing this, but we just want to have fun and kind of build our egos up a little bit because we want to see how popular we can get out there in NASCAR land.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll talk to y'all later. Enjoy the race, guys.
Have a good one.